All right, Michael. So first of all, just for the record, can I have you state and spell your first and last name for me?
Michael Clark.
And how do you spell that?
Michael Clark, Clark.
Great. So Michael, I'm just going to start with some pretty basic questions, but how long have you been living in Idaho Springs?
I moved to Idaho Springs a year ago.
Okay. So what has that experience been like up to just the past few months?
Well, up to that point, I moved to Idaho Springs. I love the country. I love to fish. I love to go pan. I love to camp. And the view out on my deck was just mountains. And it was literally paradise for me.
Wow. So you've been in Colorado for quite a little bit.
Oh yes, I've been here about 32 years.
So tell me a little bit about that night, what you remember.
What I remember is that day I went out and placed flags on the fallen veterans at Fort Logan, and I came home and I was a little. I hadn't eaten properly, so my stomach was upset. So I was getting some stomach medicine and some milk. And about 9 o'clock, I finally settled down. I went to bed. Well, about 10 or 10:30, there was a large bang in the apartment, and the wall, they felt like they were coming through the wall. Well, I've been headachy, and I finally settled down. Oh, okay. I said, let's just knock it off. I'm trying to sleep here. And then I laid back down. They quieted down. I'm going, well, it's over. So about 11 o'clock, I'm awoken by the knock at the door. Well, I go and I look at the peephole and I'm going, I don't see anybody. These apartment complexes are homes for the homeless, and unknowingly, they are dangerous. So I grabbed something because I thought maybe there's some crazy person out there. I'm not going to stand there just undefended. So I got the decorative Hawaiian sword just to go, hey, this might be some crazy drunken person. Well, I opened the door, and there was two officers, which did not even say police or anything. They stood on both sides of the peephole, and it was dark. I was not wearing glasses, and I have to have glasses to see any distance at all. And when they said it's police, after I opened the door, I says, put down the weapon. I says, all right. I put it back up on the bookshelf, about 6 to 8 feet away, beyond my reach. And I come back and I says, what's the problem? Well, I didn't get that out until 19 seconds later, wham, I was tased. And in that moment, and then I was somehow struck, and then I was out. passed out. I don't know. And then I kind of recovered. I was in the ambulance going to St. Anthony Central. And what's going on? What's happening? And at that time, I was dazed. I didn't know what I was saying, what I was doing, not clearly. And so, and I kind of went in and out. I don't remember coming out of the ambulance and going into the room. I was in and out of consciousness. And then I'm laying in this room, and there are the police officers there. She said, well, what's going on? Oh, when you get out of here, we're going to take you'll have to go up and the Clear Creek County and appear. Well, I'm going, for what? Well, 3rd degree assault. And I'm going, huh? Well, at that time, I says, I didn't strike this woman. I didn't even come out in the hall. I didn't do anything. All I was doing is trying to get some sleep that night because I was tired. I was sick.
I'm curious, Michael, if we could take a step back, just have you ever been tased before, or have you ever interacted with the police in that kind of way before?
I've never been tased before. And and when I interact with the police, I says, what's the problem? What's going on? And I find the issue, and I'm going, okay. And then there's no action, except speaking about, or talking about why are we doing this?
So, I'm just curious, what are your, I mean, do you have a different perception towards the police after this interaction?
Well, I have friends that are police officers and high up in law enforcement, and I have a healthy respect for them. And but these people, they had no respect for my rights as a citizen, no rights and no consideration for. I'm 75 years old. Doesn't a senior citizen have some kind of should be respected?
Have you seen any of the body cam?
I've seen some. I've seen enough. It's disturbing. I haven't seen all the body cam. I've seen enough that's like when they tased me and I passed out, their actions were totally and completely inconsiderate of my civil rights.
How did it make you feel just to see even bits of that video?
Excuse me?
How did it make you feel?
Now I'm more aware, and I trusted the police officers to enforce the law equally to all people. But now I'm more aware, and my trust in some of the law enforcement has been diminished.
Can we talk a little bit about? It sounds like it wasn't just that day. You've had health issues since that day.
Well, I I was tased, and it run electricity through through my body. That night, when I was in the St. Anthony Central, they run tests on me. One was the blood test to see if I had drugs and alcohol, which was none. But they did run a heart test and say there's some enzymes or something around your heart. We have to keep you. Which I did not have before.
So it sounds like there's going to be lasting impacts from this just random encounter.
Yes, because not only did it a day and a half later end up as a stroke, and then the next day I woke up going, where am I? What's going on? Where am I? The time from May 30th to Tuesday afternoon when I went into the stroke was a fog. It was like I just didn't know where I was at.
So there's some interesting parts of this video. Did you see when the officer moved your sword in the video? I'm curious if you saw that and what your thoughts were about that.
What's now is you? Excuse me?
Where the officer picks up your sword and puts it in the hallway?
I saw that. I saw that video. And he had to go in that apartment 8 feet and reach up at least 7 to 8 feet to get that sword and then drop it next to my hand and walk back out. I had completely disarmed myself and was, as the video shows, I was in nothing more than my underwear. That was it. And I did no aggressive action because they spoke and said. One was saying, get down here and get down, and the other one says, get in the hall. Now, what do I do? I'm getting two commands, and I'm going, okay, what do I do? What do you want me to do? But 19 seconds later, boom.
How did that make you feel?
Violated. Extremely violated.
Can you explain that feeling?
I trusted the police officers to be honest and explain to me what happened. They just tased me and didn't even explain what happened. They didn't get me to, and okay. If I'm a person and I wrong somebody and they get angry, I will apologize or saying, excuse me, I didn't mean to upset you, or I didn't understand your situation. And that's what I expect from everybody else. I live by a rule, and it's called the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you want done unto you.
So, Michael, I'm curious, what did you lose that day?
I lost my security. I lost my life. I went to Idaho Springs to live life, to go camping, fishing, and enjoy the mountains. And that night, that all went away.
Can you live independently still, or is...
I want to live independently, but because of my ongoing health conditions, I can't. My heart is not working right, and it's not pumping to full capacity. And so consequently, I can breathe and live down here at 5,000 feet, but at the altitude down there, there's because of lesser oxygen and everything, I have to adjust.
So, Michael, I'm curious, wrapping up, what would you like to see happen from this lawsuit?
I want truth and I want justice. I want to have these police officers not be police officers any longer. They definitely took away my civil rights, my under the Declaration of Independence, they took away my personal unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and completely ignored the law.
Did you have any other questions, Sarah? I just had one last thing, just to wrap things up. But Michael, I'm just curious, if you could say anything to these police officers, what would you say?
I would. What in your mind why did you do this? I was completely defenseless. I was just asking a question. What are you attempting to arrest me for? And they did not give me any they just acted on a knee-jerk reaction, going, well, you know, you're guilty, we're going to tase you. I said, what am I guilty of?
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to get out there before I let you go?
Well, the one thing the case has done, I'm an elderly person, but it doesn't matter if you're elderly, man, woman, child, what race you are, creed, whatever. No one should be treated this way by police officers. And this is why I'm taking this action, is that there's many people that don't have the resources, they don't have the resources to carry on and protect the public. If anything happens here, what happened to me, I don't want to happen to anybody else.
Thank you for your time, Michael. I appreciate your time.